Welcome everyone to my new educational material, actually the first one for 2025 on TickTick Trader. Scramble here, wrapping together their trading rules and payout rules in a single video like this. Very comprehensive, I would say, that lays down everything you need to know for a great trading experience. So I'd like to walk you through the process at the same time explain you everything for you to have a comfortable process. So let's get into, guys. And not before, actually, you find out more on the Discord community that I have about prop firms and trading. So for those of you that care joining in a community, make sure to check out the link in the comments area. We're trying to construct and build things around. If you got questions about anything, you can either ask it on YouTube or simply get out there on my Discord. And of course, if you want to grab your accounts on TickTick Trader, there is the max discount available coupon at any moment, Scramble. That's the way it is. Link is in the comments area, coupon as well right there. So let's get into the business, fellas. These are the most important things that I actually put together for our material today, and I'd like to talk about it. This is all the trading rules and payout rules and everything combined. Someone that is getting started, usually people don't know what kind of questions to ask, what kind of concepts to research, and what kind of issues to be afraid of, right? I don't want to say afraid of, maybe let's put it that way, concerned about or cautious about, right? Great. So the first thing is the payout. Of course, how do you get to the payout? When is the payout happening? And all those things. You must reach a specific payout threshold for each account, depending on the account you're having. The payout threshold for the first trading cycle is going to be 5% of the account size. So first cycle, a cycle means from the time you start trading until the time you qualify for the payout and you request the payout. That is the time the cycle ends. Once you get paid and you start a new cycle with your new balance, that means the funds that you got paid have been deducted out of the account, means you start a new cycle, right? So 5% basically for the first cycle. The numbers are looking in the following way. I've noted right here, the first cycle is basically on a 100K account. You have to get to $5,000 in profit, 7,500 for the second type of account, and the third type of account requires you 12,500 bucks right there. It is 5% of the account size you're starting with across the board for direct accounts. This is for the second cycle. You don't want to look into that right now. We're going to talk about it in a very few moments, but the idea here is simple, is quite straightforward. You get to that specific 5% by respecting the 20% consistency, very important, and other things that I'm going to talk about in this video as well. And you're able to qualify for the payout values. The payout values means the maximum payout you can request depending on the account. For example, 100K is $2,000. 150K is $3,000 and 250K is $4,000. Now, TickTick Trader is running on a profit split program, which means you don't get this entire amount. You get 90% of it from the beginning. So that means instead of getting, 4,000, you get 3,600. Instead of getting 3,000, you get 2,700, and then instead of getting 2,000, you get 1,800. That 10% specific part is going to be stopped, yet when you request the payout, it will be deducted out of your account, but it will be stopped basically for any data cost or any other commissions and costs they are considering, right? So this is the profit split that is running, 90% to you, 10% to the company. Simple. At the time you get to the payout threshold by respecting all the rules, including the payout threshold level. Beautiful. Till this point, it's pretty much clear for everyone. The second cycle is a little bit different, which means you got paid for your first cycle. Funds have been deducted out of your account. And let's go with the exercise of the 150K account, utilizing it as the example. You must get to the point of $7,500 in profit, right, for 150K. 7,500 comes on the top of the 150K. So that's 157,500 right there. You cut out 3,000 because that's how much you request. You're remaining with 4,500. You have to earn, in order to get paid again and to be able to request a payout, the 2% mark. The 2% mark basically is represented right there in the second cycle, right? So the second cycle value you have to earn for the 150K will be $3,000. You have to produce that $3,000 again. So you have to bring your balance back to 7,500. And then you're able to request your payout. If you question through how many days, well, there is no, let me see, where's my file? There is no payout frequency is actually any time. Minimum trading days, there is no minimum trading days. This is something that I miss writing here. No minimum trading days. They don't care for how many days you trade as long as you respect the rules. But keep in mind there is a 20% consistency rule, which cannot be achieved without having a minimum of 5 trading days. Because that's the only way you can have 20% as early as possible mathematically. However, doing it through 5 days is extremely difficult, something that 99.99% of the people would not be able to do it. So that obviously might not be the best way to call it as minimal. Yet the 6th day would be probably the earliest time I could consider the minimum time basically to reach, a realistic, let's put it that way, a consistency of 20% and of course touching the payout threshold as well. So you got that many days to perform the $3,000 and your account right now is sitting on 154,500. So you have that 4,500 left. And you got to produce $3,000 on top of that to be able to get paid basically, which means that you have to trade for a couple of days, respecting again your consistency rule of 20%, which is refreshing between the cycles. So the previous consistency will no longer affect you. Now the consistency starts from zero. Again, all the math, all the calculation starts from zero. I do have a video explaining how does the consistency rule works. I'll make a new one as well for 2025. I keep seeing a lot of the people doing it wrong, and I want to make sure you guys are going to get fully comfortable with that, right? So that's something to consider. 20% consistency on that field as well, and then you're able to request your payout. But you want to keep in mind basically that your max loss after you start your second cycle is going to be at the base balance, which means the 150K is the max loss. So you can only lose 4,500 as a max loss. Meanwhile, you have to earn your $3,000. It's kind of obvious. You just cashed out. You no longer have that many resources in your account. By the way, you can make more in your first cycle to have more resources in your account, to have more room till your max loss if you think that's something comfortable for you. However, I suggest you earn the minimal and cash out, right? Because, the money you cash out is actually the real money you have made, not any other digital number printed on your screen, which can disappear on a bad trading journey or a bad trading experience of a single day. You can blow up your account, or you can pretty much get tilted and lose a lot more than you should. And simply by breaking the rules quite easily from the discipline standpoint, you give away things that maybe yesterday or the day before you could have already cashed out. Just because you wanted to build a bit of a buffer out there, you might pay the price of that. So you have to measure these things on your own. Suggestion from someone that's been trading full-time since 2014 is cash out. Now, these are the things that we keep in mind as important details towards the payout, towards these things in terms of the numbers. You also want to keep in mind that there is a daily max loss, which is a soft rule, and then the max loss, right? These are the next things that I have to talk about. Daily max loss, soft rule, and max loss. Each account has a very specific daily max loss soft rule, which are explained here on their website. So this is the place we're going to have the ability to see that. It's right there. Daily loss limit soft rule. 2,500 for the 100K, 3,750 for the 150K, and 6,250 for the big account. The daily loss limit is usually half of the max loss. A max loss through the end of the day drawdown mode. I'm going to explain that very soon as well. Right, this is the max loss, 5,000, 7,500, and 12,500, which is trailing, which comes after you, but it comes after you based on the end of the day balance close. What does it mean? Well, obviously it needs explanation for some of you, and I'm happy to share with you that. But now we're at the daily loss limit. what that means? Well, it means that if you have a such loss for that account, if you touch that loss, your order is going to be closed automatically through a market order, which is going to cost you a little more than the number you see. And of course, the number you see at 3,750, it's not going to be that. It's going to be a little more. It could be 3,850, 900, and so on. Depends on the slippage, depends on the contracts you have, depends basically how does the market allows you to close that trade, and that's it, right? So, and you're done for the day. You're not able to trade during that day anymore. You're done for the day. You have to wait till tomorrow, as long as you still have resources, till your end of the day drawdown, which stands for the max loss. If you have resources for that, you're pretty much able to trade the next day. You're fine. How many times can you hit this daily loss limit? As many times as you want, and as many times, better said, you have resources to hit that. Right? So there's no limit once or twice or 3 times or 5 times. If you make money through 5 days and then hit your daily loss limit, which takes you down, you make money for another 5 days, you hit your daily loss limit, and you keep going like that for a year, it's not an issue. You're surviving. So what I mean by that is unlimited times you can touch that, not an issue. The account is never going to be closed by the quantity or frequency of touching that. The account will be closed based on a different criteria, and that is the end of the day drawdown with a max loss. How does it work? Let's put it that way. Let's use the 150k example as well. Let's say that the first day of trading you're making $1,000. So your account grows from 150 to 151. This is the end of the day number. We only care about the end of the day, which means the closing number. When the markets are closing and the data is collected of your account and it's registered and it's saved in the system, that's from where your stop loss is going to be calculated for the next day. So it's going to be calculated from 151k. From 151, 7,500 down. From there is going to be the price of your max loss, but you cannot touch that max loss in a single day because you have a daily loss limit which is smaller than that, right? So you touch your daily loss and you still remain with 3,750 for the next day or so, and you have the opportunity to rebuild yourself from there, which is quite comfortable for other people. But what I mean is the stop loss, in terms of the max stop loss, comes with you as you're gaining profits. The only time do not follows you and stops will be at a time you reach the payout threshold value, which means 7,500 for the 150k, 5,000 for 100k, and 12,500 for the big account, 250k, the 5% mark. When you get to that value, the max loss stops at the original starting balance. So for example, instead of putting a payout request at 7,500 in your first cycle, you brought your account there. You don't put a payout request. You bring it to 10,000. Now your max loss is going to be $10,000 away from your balance. So you're going to be located at 160k, and your max loss is going to be located at 150k. It will no longer follow you. But till 7,500, which means 157,500, is going to follow you with the end of the day balance you have, which is very, very comfortable for trading, guys. So it's not any other form of trailing stop loss that you see in the prop firm industry, and that's terrible. This is the most comfortable way to working with stop losses and end of the day drawdowns in terms of the how does it trails. It trails by the end of the day. This is what it means when I speak about drawdown mode, end of the day. It follows you. There's many other ways, such as even based on unrealized profits. Follows you live, but even on unrealized profits, and that's quite terrible, right? Because trailing comes while you don't even close your trade, and it's just going up and up, and your balance is going up, but it didn't close on your trade. So that's quite terrible right there, but this is the most comfortable way to work around. The next thing is the consistency 20%, fellas. Quite simple. Payout frequency anytime. So there's no payout window. You can request your payout anytime. You have 20% consistency. You have reached the payout threshold and you respect the other rules as well. Which means, could be the 1st of the month, could be the 10th, could be 26th of January. It doesn't matter. Anytime during as many times as you want in a month and whatnot. For example, if you get to do 6 trading days and then you request a payout, which is quite fast, of course, but for some people it's comfortable and it works. So 6 trading days right there. That's, a little more than a week. Starting Monday, you finish Monday, that's 6 trading days the next Monday, and then Tuesday you're able to request. You have to let your data be recognized by the end of the day closing, because that's how everything is calculated and updated based on the end of the day closing. Great. So Tuesday you're able to request your payout, which is going to be reviewed, and that takes between 2, 3, 4 days. Depends on the quantity and so on, demand, and so once it's reviewed and it's approved, funds will be deducted out of your account. And your account is going to move from paused. As soon as you see your account paused, it means it's under review. Once it's no longer in pause and funds are deducted, you can start trading. Even though you haven't paid yet, you can start trading already because you have already secured your payout with that process. When funds are deducted, you can even blow your account the next moment. This is something important for everyone to understand. And how do you know? When you clearly see when the funds are no longer in your account, plus it's no longer sitting in paused, right? It's going to be without the paused mention, which is happening on Project X. By the way, you can trade on TradingView, through the Trade of 8 or Ninja Trader through the Trade of 8, or simply the way I trade is the Project X. There is a tutorial about their specific platform, which is also used by TopStep and other platforms too. Now, max accounts, 3 max accounts. It was 5, now it's 3. It's a lot better, I consider, for longevity to have 3. Which means you can have 3 simultaneous instant accounts. You can do copy trading. This is something I forgot to mention here. Yes, you can do copy trading on all the 3 accounts, especially with Project X or Trade of 8. It's possible. I have a tutorial for those ones too. Live trading transition. Yeah, you're going to be moved to live trading after the 6th payout on that specific account. Right, so you have one 150k, you must reach for that one 150k 6 payouts, and then you're moved to live trading. How does live trading conditions looks? It is depending on their risk management department that decides specifically in a custom way for you what is the best for you and for the company, based on your stats and numbers and way of trading and strategies you have applied and your behavior in the market. Right, so they will decide for you in the best way possible. That's something to consider. News trading, fully allowed. Also something to mention at the live trading transition, it could happen a little bit earlier. They could reach out to you after 4 payouts and say, hey, I want you to go live. We believe you are ready to go and stuff like that, right? So that's also possible even earlier than the 6th payout. News trading, fully allowed. It's fully allowed, it doesn't matter. Scalping, fully allowed. But micro scalping is a different thing. So 2 different things here. Scalping is one thing, micro scalping is different. With micro scalping, we have 2 different rules. 1, trades must be held active minimum 5 seconds. This is generally, right? So you cannot close your trade earlier than 5 seconds. You need to hold it at least for 5 seconds. This is the first rule. This is applying generally. For the second rule, I said here check out, but I do have a file here which explains it better. Didn't have enough space to put it there, so I thought let me just share with you here, guys. This is what we have to keep in mind. This is the second rule of microscalping. It is strictly forbidden to engage in microscalping operations, trades lasting less than 10 seconds. Between 8:25 a.m. and 8:35 a.m. Chicago time, corresponding to the opening first 5 minutes and closing last 5 minutes of the markets. So once again, for the first 5 minutes of the opening of the markets and for the last 5 minutes with the closing of the markets, you must hold your trades minimum for 10 seconds actively. So that means microscalping where trades that are less than 10 seconds is strictly forbidden during this time. Don't do it. Don't do it, guys, because the outcome is not going to be comfortable. Whatever happens after this first 5 minutes and, last 5 minutes with the closings is the 5 seconds rule. But this is an exception with 10 seconds. Whatever happens afterwards, minimum 5 seconds, and you're good to go with that one. This is to know about on the micro scalping. These are the two different rules. DCA, fully allowed. And like I told you, copy trading fully allowed. So if we have max 3 accounts, then we can copy trade all the 3 accounts, bring all the 3 accounts to the payout, request the payout on all the 3 accounts, and we're good to go like that. You cannot hold evals, evaluations, and challenges, and direct accounts simultaneously. You have to go either evaluations or direct accounts, but with a TickTick trader, we're all going on direct accounts. This is what we're talking about. Directly funded, instant funded, or straight to funded. This is what we're going, guys. So when you go that way, you go that way, which is obviously what we're doing. Beautiful. Other things that I noted here are pretty much about the first cycle, second cycle, and then obviously the strictly forbidden with a 10 seconds exception. First 5 minutes of the opening, and then the closing, the last 5 minutes of the market. And that's it, right? So during any other time, you can do micro scalping by respecting that 5 seconds general rule, and you're good to go. This is not a pain in the ass the first 5 minutes or the other 5 minutes right there. It's definitely not an issue. These are pretty much generally everything that you have to know as a trader with TickTick 1 for 2025 as we're starting. This is January the 5th, the time I'm filming, and we're having a great time. So if you still have questions, if you want to let other know and all this stuff, make sure to let me know in the comments area of this video. Join my Discord, and like I said, for those of you that enjoy and would like to reward, utilize the code SCRAMBLE, which gives you always max discount available on the platform. Right now, at the time I'm filming this, is a 30% discount promotional campaign only for the first 2 accounts, 100K and 150K. 250K is not discounted right now. Scramble for max discount. When it changes, you get the max discount at that very time. Enjoy, guys. We're going to have other videos as well, starting to talk about VDS. We'll talk about Tradify. We'll do comparisons. We'll do a lot. We're going to have some live trading sessions as well. We're going to change the movements of 2025 to take this business to the next level and have people enjoying by creating a stronger community of trading, guys. Have a good time. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments area. Let me know what you guys enjoy, and see you soon.